No, you're fine. However you want
I
to do
know.
it.
Well, I could do it from up there, but I just rather than break the corner again. So
They didn't want to sit next to you based on what you're going to say.
she's like, don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me. So what is going to, if somebody's starting up a business,
Yes, sir.
somebody's going to start a business, lawn care business, whatever, service-oriented business, are they going to keep tabs on all these, on a tax now, on all their services, and report all that? I mean, it's similar to manufacturers, sales, and use tax, I'm sure, but now it's on services.
Assuming that that particular service is in fact taxed and not exempted, the short answer is yes. It'd be much like having the food trucks. So they got a square. Everybody comes in, they make their payment, they pay for it, running through on the square, and the square calculates that they send the information and the money into the state. Same thing. It doesn't seem that terribly egregious when you also remember we took away from them the responsibility of paying income tax. Right?
Well, kind of. As a small business owner in the past, having to keep track of a lot of that, as a startup, it begins to seem a little more difficult to spur on that growth in the economy, which you want with people starting businesses, but having the ignorance and then getting hit and slapped with stuff that they're.
I totally agree. So when Amendment 5 passes, we have 5 years to implement it. Once the bill is passed, it will be a full year before it becomes effective. And all the education and all of the opportunities and all of the kinks that have to be worked out will deal with for that full year to make sure that the transition is as easy as possible. But one last thing, if you don't mind, let me just piggyback off what you're saying, because it is really important. But I don't mean to shock anybody, but drug dealers typically, not that you are, right? Drug dealers typically do not file 1040 forms. They all spend money now. All of the underground economy, all of the under-the-table payments, all of the wink, here's some cash, that for the first time ever would be taxed. For the first time. All the 43 million people who travel through here every single year will help bear the burden that right now it's only producers that have to pay the income tax. We spread it out so that the burden is light and more people help pay, and we make it, to your point, sir, we make it just as simple as we possibly can. I don't want it to be agreed. I'm a small business owner too. I'm in the service industry. I do not want to have to spend all my days filing forms that I currently do not have to file. But in the transition, it may be a little tough. But I'd rather do that than suffer through another 100 years of the income tax and have my children and grandchildren handcuffed in a way that they never should have been, and neither should I have been. But we were. Yes, ma'am.